Elf. Elf is what I'm doing today. I'm going to take this Akita project that I did last time, and I'm going to rewrite it to use Elf. So, I don't expect it to be much work. Like, I could have forked it from 4 whatever other projects, but Akita, I think it's somewhat similar because it's written by the same person. So hopefully it's the same kind of. I think it is pretty similar. I think I'll be combining the query classes with the store classes. Other than that, I'm not exactly sure what differences there are. I looked at Elf documentation before Akita's documentation, so I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know what the exact differences are. So I'm just gonna go through the Elf documentation, and yeah, we'll do this the same as we did the others. So first, I'm gonna fork this project, and I'm gonna call it Elf Progressive Colors. This is the Colors app, Progressive Reactivity. And all right, that's done. I'm going to comment out the components. Hey. Oh, look at that. I never tested the third one. That is interesting. Okay, well, anyway, we want to, well, it's convenient that we get that there, but anyway, so none of the files will be, yeah, I didn't even import it. What is going on? That is so weird. I just got lazy, I guess. I remember implementing it, so I didn't, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't test it. Well, this kind of sucks. Yeah, that's the VS Code thing. But anyway. All right. I think I need to refresh, and that should be good. Anyway, here, I will go ahead and do that and that. Comment them out again. This will change, and yeah, I don't think a ton else. I mean, this should. What is going on? Store name. That's kind of weird. Sorry, not supposed to be debugging Akita during this, but I am copying. I mean, I forked it, so now it's part of Elf, so too late. Huh, where is. What? Also, this one should just be called colors, I guess. Huh. Well, this is early, but I'm going to pause to figure this out. Well, I did find this. Cannot read property store name of undefined. That's the same thing I have. And he says we support only one UI entity per store. I think it's specific to this problem. Let's see, store name of undefined. Let me try to think what that would mean. Can't read store name of undefined. So it's trying to access store of something. So let's see, we've got this store thing here. Protected store. I didn't. Maybe I don't know if I call it. Let's see. Oh, okay. Constructor. A super and store. What did I do down here? I have in the query. Oh man, I finally fixed my mouse problems with my thing here, and man, this is smooth scroll. It's fixed now. This is what I'm missing. Oh man, so it's more. I hate more. Okay. Query. Here we go. And colors store. Okay. All right. Should work now. And it does. Okay. All right. So, I mean, I don't need to fix this over here because I'm going to be radically changing it. But I might as well update it to work. So, okay. That's just like that's unimportant, but anyway. Well, that's good. That's done. So I commented these out. I am ready to uninstall Akita and then install Elf, and then I'll get started with Elf. So let's go down here. Yeah, so this isn't like a gradual refactor. This is like a complete rewrite. So if anyone's interested in the rewrite and the comparison, that's what this is. It's not like a strategy. It's just a simple rewrite. So let's get started. Installation. We got, that's Elf comes with a CLI. That is interesting. I don't. Example app. Where do I find this for real? Like, where do I find this? I'm gonna just look at how they. Okay, I'm gonna install what looks necessary. Oh, there's that. Cool, good inline stuff. I don't know why it jumped down there, but anyway. Okay, let's just install this. Uh-oh. I hope this isn't weird. Oh, man. I hope this isn't weird. The one thing that's weird that I noticed about Elf, though, is that it seems like branded towards React a little more than towards Angular. The examples like are primarily Angular, it looks like. I mean, React at first. And, I'm just going to kind of roll with it. And maybe this will end up being a bit different than Angular. What would be really convenient is like a toggle up here for Angular versus React so that all the examples are geared towards Angular. But I don't know. I think I'll do this. But anyway, so I'm going to do this the same way I've done the others. I'm going to start with the complex one first. And then I move to simpler ones as I go. Okay. So, well, first thing I need to do is read through the documentation. So that's what I'm going to do. Scan through it at least. All right. The create store function is used to initialize. I gotta increase the font size. That works. The create store function is used to initialize a store with a state. A store with a state. Good. The first argument is a configuration object where a name of the store is specified. After the first argument, any number of features can be specified describing the nature of the store, which describe the nature. Okay. So yeah, it's like this with props, and this will be, it'll be the same thing as Akita where you have to have a nested. It's got to be an object. Looks like, which is okay, but I mean, realistically, that's what most things will be. But the cool thing about state adapt is it can be as simple as this. It's like even less than a behavior subject, but you get Redux DevTools, as you can see here when I play this video. See, you click, and then look at that. It's tracking the state in Redux DevTools. How neat is that? Anyway, so okay, so that's fine. All right, querying the store, auth store.subscribe. It is a behavior subject. Okay. And you can select as an operator, and it does distinct until changed. All right, this is what NgRx. This is my own version of NgRx I created in 2017 when I was trying to migrate a Redux project to Angular 2. Yeah, this is the basic functionality of NgRx. Yeah, or at least, yeah, this is what it is. Okay, updating the store. You got an update thing. So this is extremely similar. Auth store.update. You can, yes, I will organize them all in the same file. Yeah, this is just a demo. Okay, that's, I think, all I need to know. Design patterns. Repository pattern, just organize them all in the same file. Export, update, update. Yep, that's, I've read through this before. You can also use the object-oriented programming approach. No, thank you. I do not care for this. I mean, you're defining it externally anyway. But you've got this repository here. I would just name it repo because everyone knows what that is in development. Auth repo. And yeah, auth store.pipe. Maybe I should do this. Is it more or less code? I mean, it's further indentations, because I'm competing with, I'm setting these up to compete against each other, all these different technologies. So I don't want to be unfair to Elf and use a version, use a flavor of it that isn't doesn't put it in the best possible light. So I think it might be less code to have it not in a class. So that is what I will do. Actually, importing it, it'd be nice. So I could do import all as something, and then assign it as a property, like store equals store. I'd probably, as store is probably what I would do. And then in the component, you could call each function individually, access each state. That would be the most minimal way to do Elf, I think. So I think I might do that. I mean, people may not like it. It may not be the common way it's done in Angular. But that ambiguity, I will blame on Elf for giving us so many options. So, yeah. But then I wouldn't need a constructor. But then I would need to namespace all the 3 different stores because I'm doing favorite colors, dislike colors, and the other one, neutral colors. I'm doing all those. And it would be nice to namespace those independently. So I guess I'll do the class way of things. All right, now the interesting thing for me will be, well, because it's functional, this is an easy thing to figure out because yeah, I'm starting with the most complex example, and here we have, oh man, I'm excited for these to be the same class. I'm not sure why they're separated. Maybe because of like unidirectional, even though imperative programming is opposed to unidirectional. It's like unidirectional means reactive. So imperative cannot be unidirectional. It's just not. So maybe, yeah, okay. I think, yeah. I'll end up creating a function that returns a store, and I will call it 3 times. Or maybe I should create an adapter. No, that wouldn't help. Super is the reusable part, or that's the part that instantiates a new actual thing. So yeah, I think I will create a function that returns this, and it takes in a name and initial state. No? No. Where does initial state come from? Oh, does it just infer the type from here? Oh, I see. This is the initial state. Cool. Good. Oh, but no, it's not. That's the configuration. That's what you call the store. I do believe it has DevTool support. Yes. So that's nice. This didn't scroll very fast. I think I might increase scroll sensitivity. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. So oh, here it is. That's initial state. Duh. Okay. All right. Okay. Then I will get started. I'm going to copy this. A lot of this will end up being the same. So start with that. Function create store. Store string and well, no, I don't need to do that. I can do because I know it's just going to be that. So create store. First one's going to be name, and then it's going to be with props, colors. Is that going to actually work? I don't. I'm just going to actually make this even shorter. Didn't know this before, but if you're in the multi-line editing, you can press escape to get out of that mode. So, okay, so here's this. Well, I don't want to. Yeah, I do need a favorite store. Loading state. Okay. Oh, what's the deal here? Oh, okay. So loading. Okay, now we're gonna do disliked. Man, I've made this app so many times, and I still make weird mistakes. Something's making a weird sound. I don't know if you can hear that. You can't hear that, but popcorn is popping, I think, somewhere. Okay. What I'm doing is funner than watching a movie. Let's see. Okay, this. Okay. How do we reuse state logic, though? How do we reuse state logic? I hope this isn't going to be weird, but I think it will be weird. How do you call super to set the store? Okay, I think so. We will do a base class like this, and constructor will have constructor, and this will be I don't even know what to do. Protected maybe. Store type of return type of create colors store. Hope that works. Okay. So it's just saying we're gonna pass in a store like this, and that's not gonna work. It's gonna be this dot store dot update. This is actually pretty okay so far. What's going on here? Reducer, color state. Oh, does it have to be a reducer? I mean, that would kind of make sense. So far, it looks like they're all, let's see, dot update. Yeah, they're all functions. So, okay. So change color, we got update. And I believe you only return the, oh, you got to return the full state again. Okay. Okay, so, Interesting. That's an interesting change. So can't do this. This will be state. And I wish the default for Pretty wasn't putting arrows around everything or parentheses around everything. It's kind of annoying. Okay. What's a good way to do this? Well, I'm going to be putting this everywhere now. So that, and then colors. Oops. I mean, those colors passed in. Oops. There. Okay. Yep, that's not even there. So, okay, need to do this one. Not too bad. Okay, now we're just going to move these onto the same object. This is just the base. Is it a function? Yes, it is. You pipe it. Okay, it's a behavior subject. So you pipe. This is before any of this, so okay. I am surprised that worked so well. Store. Nice. All right, so that is colors store. And now each of these will extend it. And instead of initial state, well, actually, yes, they need to pass in each of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put this below. So far, this is shaping up pretty okay. So we've got the state changes and the selectors. Now we do each individual one. So we're going to get rid of this favorite color store, and the constructor will now put in the favorite store, which has that initial state. And that's all we need to do. Good. I don't like having those separate. So that's good that I don't have to do that. And I did rewrite something before. And there was elf. Elf was one of the comparisons. So I think it was done in a class. I could look it up. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Here we are, elf.store. Okay, you're creating the store, and then service. Yes, so they're exporting a service and doing it all in a class. So yeah, they're doing it basically the same way as I am, except instead of putting the store at the top, they have it in a separate file. So I probably would have had it in the same, but I mean, that's what I'm doing. So all right, then this is fine. This is fine. Okay, now component. What do we have to do here? Well, we aren't. Okay, so first of all, I don't think that's a thing anymore. And these are gone, but the rest will stay the same. So instead of query, these should be protected, apparently, according to the documentation. I'm just gonna, maybe I can set this everywhere. Yeah, store. Okay, easier to do it that way. And I think it's just magically working. I don't think, I think it should just magically work now. I haven't dived deep enough into the documentation. Actually, I have. I think I've read through it twice now. I read through it a long time ago, and then I read through it like a week ago, just looking ahead. And yeah, it doesn't have effects, I don't think. It'd be, I mean, nothing like NgRx component stores thing where you can do declarative, you can react to observables. That'd be nice. But anyway, request, pagination, persist state, DevTools using Immer. I'm gonna go ahead and throw DevTools in right now. Save that first and do that. Okay, so that's installing. Oh, and you just yeah, that is like I think it really is like appealing to React, like the way they do things, which is fine. I really don't care for object-oriented anything. So, okay. Max age, yeah, I don't think anyone cares about that. Yeah, no one cares. Oh, side effects. What? Oh, yeah, that's right. You do this in your own separate thing. You do tap. And yeah, so it's basically take care of it yourself. Subscribe in the component. Oh, use effect. Oh, that's a React hook. Using effects. Oh, it has a separate library for it. Okay, this actually might be maybe usable in a way that we did. Well, NgRx component store, the most useful thing about that is that it's part of the store, and so it's yeah. See, I don't need to react to anything. The interesting part is with NgRx component store that it subscribes for you, and I don't know about resubscribing, how it does that, but yeah, this kind of doesn't really matter. I mean, it's imperative in the end, and if I could make this part of the store's definition, then it would be declarative. If I can make part of the store's definition, then I mean, I can merge. I can do this. I can merge. But actions. Yeah, and then look. And this is something you would yeah, like I did with NgRx component store, I have it store. I have it just like on a init. I have it calling the thing you return with when you call effect, so that it's as if you dispatch the action, because this creates a function you call and it pumps values into this. So I call it one time so that it and this already it subscribes for you, like it's internal. It just subscribes for you. But since these are like singletons, like do they ever? I don't think they ever get reconstructed, do they? I mean, I can test that right now. I don't think they do. So this is 7 constructed. Go away. Come back. Yeah, it only happens one time. So this is a forever subscription that never goes away. But it's an injectable, so that's not a memory leak. So yeah, I guess I could do something similar here. I wonder if I could do something similar with Akita even, because in Akita there it is an injectable, and I am calling a constructor. It's never going to be cleaned up, but that doesn't matter. I could just have an observable here. Well, the issue is it's eager, but I think that's the same way it works with NgRx component store. So I'm not even sure. Like, I can create something that looks reactive for this simple colors app, but if it's an approach that scales, that's the issue. I don't actually know. I don't think the thing I did for component store really scales though. It's eager. So I mean that's not the end of the world. You're using in a component, and then you can assume, okay, we need to subscribe because that component came alive, and it's going to need the store. It's requesting it, so everything is part of the store. Go ahead and subscribe to those sources, those observables. I think that's probably fine, because you can always it's not a new subscription though. Like with HTTP, you would only call it one time. Like this would only create this once. And it's never unsubscribing. So if you go back to the component, it wouldn't refetch. Whereas with StateAdapt, it does. Because it's completing, but then it's unsubscribing, and then when it subscribes, apparently it starts it again with HTTP, I think. Maybe it's just creating a new method every time. Yeah, or a new observable every time. I think that's what's happening. I don't remember. Sometimes I forget like basic things like this, but I need to think for a sec. This is kind of a distraction from Elf, but yeah, I'm gonna pause. So yeah, even if you're not doing HTTP, you'd want cold observables to be created again. So what I need to do here, I don't know. what I need to do here. But there should be an init method on these stores that causes these to be refetched, or I need to wrap it in this crazy stuff like the using thing because to make it reactive or declarative. Yeah. Declarative and reactive. Yeah, so this doesn't work. Because I'm trying to make elf declarative, and so far I have to look at I mean, the way it's implemented now is with this using thing. And I believe that I have to do this with NgRx component store too. Because I can get this done. I can do this same thing. I mean, I could define this as a property on the store. And it's referring to this as a separate thing, the observable, this. So I define them above like I did with NgRx component store, but then I have this as a thing that you can use. But no, it's like creating this every time you go to the component. So if you look here, well, this is here, but with NGXS, every time you open this, it's going to create these new observables, and they're going to emit. I mean, yeah. So that's what I want to do. Yeah. Initial state. Yeah, this never gets cleared out of the store. So you'd have to reset the initial state. Dang, I wonder if that counts as the same behavior. It's different. It's kind of different, but it's not important, so I'm not going to worry about it. Or I could and just say, hey, look, NGX has so many lines of code to do the same thing. But then if you want the other behavior, the way NGXS is, it's more lines of code to do plain RxJS stuff. So you'd subscribe in like a parent component or something. I don't know. There might be, I haven't really cared to explore that yet, but so far nobody has wanted to cache anything. And if you can, why not use the local storage trick or whatever, the local storage pattern. Why not? And then it's cached, but session storage. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, there could be a separate cache object, similar to session storage or local storage, but it's more convenient. I don't know. Yeah, why isn't there like a unified thing? Because sometimes you want to save things in local storage, sometimes session storage. They get cleared out for different reasons, but at different times too. And then app as well. Anyway, so what do I do? I'm going to pause and think some more again. Okay, I just had an idea, and I'm going to implement it in NgRx component store first. Or maybe I should do an elf. I'm going to do an elf because it doesn't matter where I do it. It's the same. All three of these class approaches, where it's creating like kind of a local thing for you, it's kind of going to be the same. So here's what I'm going to do. Actually, I will do an NgRx component store first because I know that this is working. Anyway, so this is buggy. This is not going to work because it's not going to create new, like, it's not going to refresh. Like, each component, when it gets created, it needs to have its own data sources. And yeah, so instead of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a method up here called connect, and it's going to sort of take this stuff, the component, it's gonna do this automatically and internally. So right here's where I did it. So it's gonna take a, I don't know exactly what the type's gonna be, but it's gonna take dang, I don't know how to type this. The idea is, though, you specify a method on here, so a state change. Okay, so it's arguments, and then we're going to have method, which is going to be, this is, I don't know how to do this. Is this going to even work? Like, it's going to be, how do you infer the generic from this? Because I want to take the arguments and say that you have to give it an observable with the arguments, with the type of the arguments. Let's say it has to be one thing, okay? So it's not going to be this. And so it's going to be an observable. And I'll call this source observable T, but the T, like key of this. This is just going to end up being like an intersection of all these things. Method, and look. Doesn't match the properties. What if I tried this? And yeah, I can't do that. There's gonna be a, it'll be better to do this here. Maybe up here. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like yet, but so dang it, how am I gonna do this? This is a hard part. TypeScript can get weird, and when you're really trying to make something generic, it really makes it difficult to like the TypeScript gets way more difficult. I don't know what's going on up there. Okay. I gotta pause and work through this. This is gonna be hard, so I gotta figure this out. Okay, here's what I did. I'm using this observable instead of grabbing the thing from the store. This is NgRx component store, just so you know. A small detour here. And I created syntax like this, where you can call use, and then this is the state change name, and then this is the observable that you're using, and this is the result observable. So if you subscribe to this, it subscribes to this and sets state. So it's like a tap. So it's like using Internally, this is what it's just using, basically. So I mean, anyway, it allows you to be declarative, I think. Anyway, you have to, and it's not really declarative. It isn't, because the store is like defined elsewhere. Is it declarative? No, it's not. It really is like it's just a convenience thing for subscribing and setting state, and it's like a little piece of like continuity with RxJS. So in a way, it kind of is declarative, but anyway, it lets you pass in a new observable for each time the component initializes, and when you subscribe to this, it subscribes to this happening, so it sets the state. And maybe I should change this argument, because you kind of start with this, use this, have it set state, and then return this. That kind of makes a little more sense. So I'm going to do that. So, yeah, that should work. Does it work? Yes. So, yeah, thanks StackBlitz for saving energy. But anyway, so I don't know. I think this is kind of declarative. It feels declarative to me. It really does. Because I'm not calling the function. This is kind of equivalent to calling it, but I'm not subscribing. I'm not making things happen. This feels declarative to me. I don't know if it's technically declarative, but it feels declarative. Either way, it's really convenient. So, and it actually works, unlike this other thing I did. So I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's try this with blackout. Let's try moving this. Okay, and let's try moving all this. Yeah, let's try moving all this. This will be interesting. That's 3 separate things I need to do. This might be simpler though, so I'm gonna say it's probably worth it. And now this is gonna be this. Hey, it's fixed. It's working somehow today. Now all are black. This is actually not. Dang, I'm gonna have to propagate these changes all the way back down. I just did this. It's annoying. So anyway, this observe, because this can be reused by all the uses. So we're gonna have. I want to do multiple here. This isn't gonna work so well. How can I do this? Tap. Observable. It's just a using. That's all it is. Like if I pass in, so what I could do is do map and then tap right here, and call set state directly. That's what I could do. That'd be more flexible. And then in the end, it's just like you're calling using. It's just like you're calling using. So no, maybe this is just convenient syntax, and then you have to learn 2 different things, and people don't like that. So you have 2 separate patterns. Maybe it's not the best. Well, I think I have to change this anyway, and I'm going to be doing this similar to elf, but tap, not operators. Okay. And this is just going to be setting them all. And then now we move this there. What's going on here? What is going on here? Oh. Okay, so that would be this. I mean, like, it kind of is sprawling. But when you subscribe to this, it means you're now going to listen to the state change. Yeah, you can't do this anyway if you're going to affect multiple stores. This won't work. So you define this somewhere else and you could do this, but so should I keep this or should I just do using? Using is kind of ugly syntax, but it's kind of what I think I need to do. I mean, I don't need to do it here. I could call a method. It's just as imperative to just call a method. So never mind on all that. Okay. This is not a subject. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this stuff. This is a property though, so that goes there. And then this is the actual thing that makes sense to use using for. I'm just not sure it's like worth it. Hang on. So I implemented both styles and this just sprawls so much. However, this requires you to define this thing. So which one's better? And if I widen this, it would just be a bit like it is more. It is more for sure. You got this. You got the tap. You have the function, referencing all this. It is a lot more. This decides how I'm going to do elf too, because elf is going to have the same issue, like with the issue with NgRx component store was I wanted a reactive way to connect sources to state changes, because otherwise what you're going to do is you're going to have ng on init, timer whatever dot subscribe, set state, and ng on destroy unsubscribe. You're going to have something like that. So what I wanted to do, so one incremental step better is wrapping it in a using so that you don't have to unsubscribe. It becomes part of this observable. And when you unsubscribe from this, it unsubscribes from that inner thing. So this using is like a way to do side effects, basically, with an observable. So you subscribe to the main thing, it'll return this, the values from this, but it'll also subscribe to this. So it's a way to do side effects. So it kind of wraps that one feature all into one thing, so you're not referencing it over in the ng on destroy. It's more declarative. But it is a lot of syntax, and over here in the store, I was hoping I could do what I had before with like using effects, but the problem with that is the store only runs once, and so if you had like 5 components, they'd all have to have the same observable. So that doesn't really, it's not really how. Well, it is a store, so there's like a one-to-one relationship between that. Each component isn't going to get their own store. It is a singleton anyway, so why not just connect it to single services? Is that a legitimate approach? That's what I'm wondering. I decided a minute ago that it probably wasn't, but I'm trying to remember why. Basically, as soon as you access the service, it's going to subscribe to those observables, and it's not going to refetch. Whereas in a component, if the observable comes from the component, it will. But in order for it to come from the component has to manage the subscription. So yeah. So, I prefer this syntax. I do, for sure. And it would also be nice if there was another option where if you don't specify the third thing, and this becomes a function that you can call and pass in the third thing later, because there are a lot of selectors that you might want to have. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't think that. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So there are many selectors that you might want to state a dependency on this inside. So let's say favorite colors, all caps, something like that. However many selectors you have. So it would be like pretend it's a function, and then store dot something like that. Then basically what you're doing is you could call it that. And basically you're saying that you're declaring this as a dependency on its own. So every time you subscribe to any of the selectors, they'll make sure that this gets subscribed to. And that's how to do selectors in a minimal and declarative way. So, but I'm like exploring a lot of advanced patterns that I don't think I think it'd be cool if NgRx Component Store had this. But should I actually implement this as part of my pattern that I say, hey, you should do this? I don't know. I'm going to say actually, yeah, because it makes the syntax nicer. And then over here in Akita, I'd be able to get rid of this and make this nicer, and this, and this. And I think you only have to do it once. Like if I create a class that extends this, would that work? I'm defining it here. Key of this. I'm going to try that real quick. It's going to be a little painful. Because what's this? What's this going to be? How do I know what to pass into there? Okay, let's just try class with use extends component store state. What? Object? Okay. How do you do this? I don't think it's this. Does that work? Okay. Am I not supposed to have this as a string? I have set state. Yeah, I wonder what update would do, but who cares? So let's say I define this as part of this. And now this is going to be this. Is this going to work? Apparently, this didn't work. That's unexpected. That is really unexpected, actually. This is oh no, I got rid of those. Okay, so this turns it into a reusable utility, and then anybody implementing this or with Elf, it's going to be a little different because he uses a function, but it doesn't matter. I can I don't know what I can do. What constructor? I can make it generic. I can create a class that you can extend and do this for services. So I'm actually okay. I like this. I do like this, and I will do this. This is better syntax. So I will go ahead and do that. And so it's a utility that I created, and good for me, I guess. Let's see. Disliked colors, and that's going to be orange. I didn't think I'd be working on anything with NgRx component store, but this, I'm going to copy it over to both Akita and Elf, but only Elf in this video. I should have. It's not that much work, but okay. So there. So this is now a component. And let's see. So these are going to be gone. All right. So what did that turn into? What did I just do? Did I add or remove code? I think I added code, but it's less than it would have been because it would have been the using stuff. Yeah, for sure though. But I made it. I fixed a bug is basically what I did. So, all right, let's. Yeah, and then this, like, there isn't a point in using here. How would you do this among multiple stores? Like, if there was an observable that you want to do multiple stores with, well, you define this individually. Yeah, you define this individually, and then you do this once each for the different reactions that the observable needs to cause. And yeah. Okay. I need to subscribe to these now. that should be good. Whoa, what on earth just happened? That is bizarre. What just happened? Neutral store and decide favorite store. What? What just neutral? That makes method? Method name? What is going on? No. Hmm. I don't think that'll do it, but yeah, no, I don't. What's happening? This is really messed up. Oh, huh. Favorite store. Derp. Duh. Jeez. Okay. That was really weird. What was I thinking? That was really weird. Good. There we go. All right. So much of what I do is just random. Just trying to see what can work, and then yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, so I'm happy with this then. Yeah. Using, for some reason, people just look at it like it's this really weird foreign thing. Like, what? Am I allowed to use this? So, no, up here. Okay, well, in the end, this changed into, let's see, that's 96 plus. So that is more code. That's 158 lines of code, and I think it used to be 144. That sucks pretty bad, but could be worse. Yeah, you'd need a method here to define the stuff, but it should come from the component. Yeah, well, this is the price of using these things reactively. This isn't a judgment on NgRx Component Store per se. This is NgRx Component Store used reactively. So, looking over at ELF, I mean, this, I mean, I'm doing this here. So let's see if I can get away from using. So here in the color store, I can create a class. So class with use. I'm just going to copy and paste that. See, I was working on the ELF implementation, and you didn't know it. I didn't know it either. Not component store. We don't need to care about this. Okay. And I guess I don't really need to care about that either. Observable and using and tap. Cool. With use. Oh no. What's do with this? Why is there a constructor? Oh, right. I'm wondering what the problem with this is, but it actually saying? Constructors for derived classes must contain a supercall. Oh, of course. Okay. Now, let's use. I'm going to do a new one. Favorite store. Use. Okay, this is looking good. I'm going to just copy it from here. I'm going to just copy all this. I'm going to copy all of this. We need timer. Already in. What about map? Already in. So what's the deal? Oh no. What? Oh, set state isn't one of them. Right. So what did we call that over in Elf Land? We called it set colors. It's a nested property anyway, so. Cool. Yes. All right, I'm happy. I think overall that this is a utility that would help with every single reactive state management pattern that uses a service. Anyway, the rest is going to be the exact same. So I think we're already ready to use this. Is there anything else I can delete here? Yes, all this stuff. Not loading. Oh no. Oh no, I already deleted that stuff. So I'm gonna have a hard time when I write about the results of all of this, because I need to count the number of imperative statements so I can kind of give each a score on how imperative it is. And this is kind of imperative. It kind of is, but I can't decide if it is or not. It's not really declared. It is. It's imperative. This counts as a tab, and it's kind of shorthand for it. So this is imperative. But and I'm going to call it imperative simply because this isn't defined where the state is. This isn't part of the store, and it can't be. Let's see. The store. Subscribe. It could be. It could be part of the store. No. I'm comparing it with state adapt in my mind and trying to think. If you use the state adapt pattern and you decide that you're going to make this store, you're going to write it somewhere else. Why is it like this? Is that how it's always been? I think it is. Yeah, apparently. But yeah, you could define this stuff like this store in a service, and then you've got it's got HTTP. Was the issue the subscription though? I think that's what the issue was. Because NgRx Component Store, the way I had it before, it was just subscribing once and then that was it forever. But you need this to give the store or the component something to subscribe to and to unsubscribe from. So I believe, yeah, that's how it works. If everything unsubscribes from a cold observable and then something new subscribes again, I think it restarts it. I think that's how it works. It's weird. It's weird that I just take things for granted and don't really, when it comes to really specific stuff like this, I need to be more comfortable with this. So what if I was able to define this as part of the store? I'm going to experiment with this real quick. So if, would I put it here? No. I don't know what to call it exactly, but I'm just going to try. And it's going to be, oops, different file. It's going to be this, use, no, map. This shouldn't be so hard. What's the deal here? Never. What's the problem? What is the problem? Oh. Why not? Observable of string. I mean, I literally copied set colors. Yeah, that's the right thing. Map. Well, it's creating the right thing. What is the issue? Should be. Observable parameters, this color, yeah. Ugh, I hate this. What am I missing? I'm gonna pause and figure this out. I did a little bit of trial and error, and this works. And what I did is I changed this up here to any instead of never. So, I don't know. Okay. Now let's see what happens. If I go over here and I say this isn't this, this is. What if I say that? What happens? Well, I haven't. I should have been experimenting with this on the NgRx component store repo, but regardless, I'm going to go ahead and open the, I'm going to open this up. Let's see what happens. Wow. So not only did I set up ELF correctly, this new thing I tried works. Okay, actually, but it's kind of working, but we'll see if it works the way I want it to. Well, they stay this way. I guess ELF is the same. I think they're probably all the same. No, with this definitely. Wait. No, I'm pretty sure, yeah. It'll stay. Yeah. Okay, so whatever. Whatever. But I think it is creating new. So I do this. I should set it. Yes. All right. This is what I want. This is what it should be. So yeah, resubscribing works. So this is gonna be the way I do things. I'm going to define all these dependencies in here like this. It's overriding, right? Might be confusing, but it might really work. So I actually am going to do it this way. So it goes in the store after all, and guess what? That's close to declarative. It's close. It's not really, but it's better. It's closer to declarative. Let's see. Oh. That's the one I didn't update, huh? Oh, both of them. What did I copy? I don't even know what I copied. Oh, yeah. It's not that interesting, but okay. Well, it's working. It's working in ELF, and this is ELF, right? Yeah. So this ends up being pretty similar. I'm gonna go ahead and finish converting this over in component store because I want to have the same thing going on over there. I'm going to paste this here temporarily, then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to going to copy all of that. No, I'm just going to copy this part. And then that's this file. Yeah. Okay. And this will be colors. That will be colors. And that will be colors. And that will be here. And that will be here. My bad. And that should just work now. This is component store. Close it. Open it. It's resubscribing. There. Okay. That's good. That's very good. I think. I'm not 100% on this, but I think this is what would be expected. But yeah, so you subscribe to these things, and it's like subscribing to the observable itself. So that's nice. So here you're describing the pattern, the state management pattern. Here you're describing specific state. So this is declarative. As a self-contained thing, this is declarative, but internally it's imperative. So it's like the least harmless kind of imperative, because the imperative thing is happening really close to the thing itself. It's like if you think of this as one thing, it's part of it, but it kind of looks close to state adapt. Look at this. You got, well, no, down here. Let's look at, is this, which one? NgRx store. So that's the store. Let's just put this next to it. So this, look at this, right here. I mean, it's implied that you're going to do set with that one, and that's what set is used for here. And then, like, it's just kind of a more spread out version of state adapt, and so it's almost as declarative as state adapt. That's really interesting to think about, but I guess I would consider this still technically imperative, because it is loose. Like, it's very loose. But it's so close. Man. What I had before, though, with effects, like how I had component store before with effects, that was, did I count that as imperative? Nah, because it's such a weird distinction, because I'm gonna say if it's part of the same object, close enough. Close enough. And this is actually it wasn't too hard to implement. The type was the hardest part, but the logic itself, it's just wrapping it in a using, and then yeah, it's just small syntactic sugar. It could have been using, but this is nicer. And then back in the component, like for setting all to black, I mean, that's going to be no matter what. Wait, why is this like this? I didn't change that yet, I guess. But that should be up there because it's a property. Yeah, this is definitely imperative, but now I'm trying to think, like, that was really cool being able to do that, but I'm wondering how to do this. And you would have to be able to pass an observable, which would be what I was doing earlier. You'd call favorstore.use, and I wonder, what if this would just be implementing stated_app, another piece of stated_app, because like you got this object down here where you specify multiple things. No, you're not defining the store here. You're just referring to it. So it's not declarative to try to do that here at all. Like this shouldn't be done here at all. So it should be able to react to something. And you're not constructing it here at all either. So the only way to do this would be to export the subject from here and yeah, and then it becomes like an action, and then you define another thing like this, and then you don't need to do should I try that real quick? I'm gonna see what that looks like. Where do I define this action? That work? Import it correctly, good. Okay. We do all our black equals this.use blackout. Oops, that's crazy. Blackout all to black. Why isn't auto completing? It should. This is that stupid thing. Same thing I ran to a stated_app, I think. If it emits any, it can't emit void. Optional, maybe? What does that do? No. I don't know if this works. Of course. What? What is this talking about? This is in the component. 55. What was just done? Any. Why is this any? Is it because it's self-referential? Somehow? Oh. Yeah, whatever, but... Why is this any? Because this is a Boolean. I'm really confused. Should I try that? Should that just be the pattern? It's like attaching a dependency to a selector, and I love that. Their fates are tied together. You subscribe to one. Not their fates. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. That makes more sense. It makes way more sense. It's probably, yeah. I think it's less confusing. Okay. Then you go down here. And then there's this. Where do you actually subscribe? Well, you're subscribing to them here. So that's when it listens. So it turns out I am back to the start almost. That's ridiculous. And that's not there. So let's see if this works. Something changed. I don't know what, but or void. Or void? Is it okay? Can it really be void? Am I okay with this? Not really. It depends on what this is. If this is if it's what does this type resolve to? What does that resolve to? Let's try. It's not telling me what it is. If I go in here, yeah, it's not going to tell me what it is. What if I put blackout in? That worked. So void can work, apparently. So why let's try void else that should work, shouldn't it? Oh. Then we're back down to this garbage. I'm just gonna pretend that or void is just how I want it. I'm just gonna be happy with. Well, Does this actually, did it work? I can't remember. I think it did. Well, that doesn't work. No errors. What is going on? What did I do? Dang it. So I need to use this. Now what happens here? Nothing. Well, up here it should. It didn't. Didn't do a thing. Super tall. That's the thing that it hates. So why is this any? All right, I'm a noob when it comes to object-oriented stuff, which I am not ashamed of at all, because I don't like object-oriented stuff, like I've said already. But apparently you have to name it different, and I can't think of a meaningful distinction. The only difference is when you subscribe to the original one. Why is it still not working? Oh. When you subscribe to the original one, did I not? Yeah, I didn't. When you subscribe to the original observable, oops, down here. What you're doing is you're just going to get the state. That's it. You subscribing, however, should be enough to, like, you want the state. Everything that affects that state should get the subscription. And so I wanted to come up with a convention that separated these. This is like the weak form. Like this just gets the state. It's not propagating your subscription to the thing that the state comes from. The store breaks that chain, but this reconnects the chain, and I can't think of a good meaningful distinction, so double dollar sign to indicate that like there were two streams and now it's like one. Because what else could I do? I don't know. But this actually works. Apparently it doesn't. What's going on? This should be Boolean. That should be Boolean. So what's the deal here, huh? Oh, thanks, stack blitz. You make me panic every time. Okay, well, all right. And it works. So close, open, and then sets back to aqua. And yeah, so this now works. This is how I'm going to do it for all of them, I guess. All right. Okay, well, that was Elf, I guess. I want to compare it to something else. Let's Akita. Set. It separates it. No, I could. No, you can't extend multiple classes, can you? So I couldn't rejoin them. And the state change does exist on this. I could create the use thing on this, however. So if I go here and do that, we are learning about observables in this file now. That's pretty cool. And then we need to do it more like this, where we're extending with a generic. All right. Now we're going to do this. Nothing changed. That's a good thing. And then extended the colors store. We can't select things here. So in the component, though, we get to use the new syntax, and that's the benefit. Now I'm going to stick to this syntax. I actually like it. It is just a little cleaner. Did I do this in the right file? I didn't do or void here yet. I think that's the only thing missing. So, use. We're going to use this. It's going to set colors. And then we want to return this. Actually, let's what? Set colors? That's what it's doing, right? What's happening? Why is it complaining? Oh, I need to close another parenthesis. Parentheses. Another pair of parentheses. That's the appropriate way to say that, I guess. Okay, well, now no tab. That's the only thing that I need to update. And instead set it here, and it's going to be set colors, of course. Did I forget to close something again? Oh. This is chaotic. It'd actually be easier if I just save this so I can format it and it looks nice, and then I just replace neutral and replace purple and then call it good. Right? Neutral. Yep. Okay. And yeah, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this because the queries are separate from state changes. Yeah, I mean, someone could create syntax that does something similar to state adapt, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, I think this is about as good as this is going to get. And I do like it. Okay, now let's just compare Akita and ELF. So we got 96, 97, 193. So 193 for Akita. We've got, oh no, well, this one will be shorter. 111 and 69. So that's 180. Okay? ELF is smaller. 180. Maybe I should do... Yeah, maybe I'll do a version of these where it's just like kind of the default way that's imperative, so I can compare them normally too. This is because I really actually like this state management app because it's dumb, but it shows the degrees of complexity, and I think it'd be nice to have a comparison that is imperative as well as reactive. Because this, where you're setting the things, it is one line of code at each. Well, then you have 3 lines total for the method that wraps it. And over here, what you had was 2 lines for the equivalent to the method. Another 2 lines or 1 line, depending, over here for defining this, 2 lines in this case. And then another line here. So reactive was more code. So, yeah, unfortunate. But, yeah, I'm just thinking of possible problems, but some of them you'd have with state adapt, and some of them you had with all of them. So anyway, this is just fine. This works. So it's slightly more code, but that's fine. But yeah, but actually, if I refactored these, I don't think they'd be that different in the imperative style. Because imperative and reactive are like mirrors of each other. You like in one case, the callback functions have a reference to each state that's changing. On the other side, each state has a reference to each, not callback function, but event that causes that state change. So in the end, the reference total count is the same on the first level. After that, you start reusing stuff in the reactive thing. And if you, in the reactive style, and if you try to get rid of duplication on the imperative side, what you come up with is closer and closer to something that's actually reactive. So, yeah, that's something that I've thought about a lot, and you can get something that's pretty good using imperative stuff if all of your methods have side effects, and then they keep a list of things they need to update right after. It's a similar model. It's not declarative, but anyway. But this ended up being pretty good, I would say. So what was this again? ELF. This was 180 lines of code, and Akita was 193. So ELF is more minimal, and I think the saving just came from the fact that you don't have to have this ridiculous separation here. That's probably a big thing. I mean, that alone gets rid of 9 lines of code right here. Well, actually more than that. Like, what is this? 6, 7, 21. So that's pretty much where all the difference is this extra boilerplate here, keeping them separate. Anyway, yeah, managing side effects, that actually didn't matter. Yeah, the core of ELF is very simple, and what is the registry? Oh, one right, this total list of stores. Yeah, these are like meta things. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't change anything. And batching, you got batching here again. But it says same store, so can't use it. For our blackout action, can't use it. Sync state, that's different tabs. Dev tools, I did set this up. I didn't test it, but it should work. Yeah, that was bright. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Still no payload. All right. Okay. All right then. That's okay. I'm not gonna repeat my rant from yesterday. Okay, well, this was nice. It's all right. It's all right. I thought that ELF would be more minimal, I guess. And there's not really much we can do because, I probably should have just made this, put this into service so that I could compare the state management patterns more directly. I mean, this is getting crazy. I've got so many files now and like 6 different management libraries now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 6 different state management libraries. State adapt, NgRx store, NgXS, NgRx component store, Akita, ELF. And next I'm going to do, was I going to do something else? I think just pure RxJS because subjects in the service. That's a common pattern too, so I might as well try to also do that. Yeah, but yeah, in this other repo though, where was that repo? Not here. I showed you already. It compared pretty. It was pretty similar to. Hang on. Okay, I found it. It's so versus ELF. Oh, okay. And the services. State adapt was. Okay, so I didn't put any of those in parentheses. It was overall 12% less code than ELF when I did state adapt in this demo repo, but I think it was maybe watered down in the oh wait. Oh, for just state management code it was 12% less. For a component it was 14% less. It was 184 lines of code for state adapt and 214 for ELF. And that's the closest comparison to what I have here. And this font looks huge for some reason right now. Anyway. Yeah, so here it's quite different. This one was, is this 99? Is that it? Did I change something recently? Oh yeah, I got rid of some pointless style on all of them. So elf, 111 and 69. So that is pretty different. Is it selector? I don't know. I got to convert a bunch of projects. I think it'd be fun to convert a bunch of projects from elf to stated app and just kind of see the comparison there. Then it's not biased as much because I'm writing elf as somebody who hasn't written elf before. So, okay. I think that this is good enough for this video, and I have a lot of syncing up to do between these projects. NgXS, I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't do this. All the ones where the state is held in the service, I can do this for it. And those are coincidentally also the ones that kind of suck because, save that, because you have to use combine because you don't have selectors. But the benefit is it is just a utility function. I'm wondering, I'd have to give it the action. Yeah, I could do it with, no, I don't even think I could do it with. I could give it, I'd have to give it 2 arguments. One for the action, the other for the argument or payload. With NgRx, same, I think. No, I don't need to give the payload. I just need the action for both of them. So instead of the name of the state change, it'd be the action. Just the action. And that is all it needs. So I could create a utility function for NgXS, and man, this is why I didn't want to customize anything, because it's like extra. It's not default, but I could do this for NgXS. I could create a function just the same, except maybe I couldn't, because what about this? What about cases like this, where you have 2 arguments? What do you emit from an observable? You can't. So I will blame NgXS for that. Same with NgRx. But hey, they got selectors. So I mean, these are gonna get docked big. Like, in my opinion, I'm not like measuring it exactly, but selectors, they're important. They're efficient. They're cleaner. Okay, well, that's it for now. I will just move what I have here upstream to all the simpler features, and I'll move it sideways over to Akita and NgRx component store, and then I'll be able to finally have everything up to date so I can work on the next thing, subjects in a service. And then I will comb over everything, decide what counts as an imperative, like figure out what counts as an imperative line of code. And I think I will just go by the thing that I kind of arrived at tonight, that if it's, and last night, I guess, if it's declared as part of one thing, it's declarative. And if it's part of one class, that is close enough. I mean, these aren't methods that are being called. They are referencing specific things, and they are reacting to them. So, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. And I think this counts as reactive, maybe. Maybe a half point. I don't know. I think it's reactive. Well, oh well. Yeah. So, good job, Elf. Elf is better than Akita. Definitely. NgRx component store, it's about the same as Elf. Except Elf has Redux DevTools though. But NgRx component store is a little less code, isn't it? 160 versus 170. I think that's where. How cool is that? These are both exactly 80. Nice. But yeah, this is 69 and this is 111. So that's pretty nice too. Okay. All right. I'm done. I'm tired of that. I'm pretty satisfied with what I arrived at though. So I create a utility that makes sense. Yeah. For the same reason that NgXS might have multiple parameters, Elf might have multiple parameters in their state changes. Like all of these might. It just depends on how you want to do these. Like these arguments, like these state changes. It depends on how you want to do them. So I can recommend one payload, just a single object. But then why not do that for NGXS too? This was more code, or less code, than defining the interface for the one payload before. Why not make it an array like I did the other thing? A tuple. Either way, what makes sense for this makes sense for the other stuff. So maybe I should create a utility for this. And I mean, it's always going to be the same. It's always going to be tap. Oh, you know what? They should also have share on them. Yeah, it's good though. And if they're always common, then they really should be made in a utility. How did I say it on my article? In my article. Huh. I wonder what happened with my article. It went down. Oh, Tim Dishriver. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but he wrote this article, huh? He referenced my article at the bottom. Stop. Did he stop referencing my thing? He edited this 5 days ago, according to Google. Now that. Not to use effects. Okay. Yes, this is where. Okay, this is really bright. Yeah. No, that's not where I did it. That's not where I did it either. Here we go. Share. Yeah. Oh, got. Oh, this is different. Like with state adapt. So you could have an observable that emits all these things, and then you can partition or split up that, like filter that observable into two separate observable sources, and each of those would go into this new syntax that I just made with the use. So using, it would be it would then merge those other two, I guess. Yeah, I did kind of change how this works, but they should be definitely shared though. Yeah, in this case they should. In stated app, I don't actually use a share operator because I just check if the observable has been passed in before, and I just reuse the same reference, so it never needs to be shared. But up here, we have selectors. Let's see, where did I do this? Every time we call use, it's creating a new using and a new observable. So we could put share on the end of this if we wanted to, I guess. Yeah, we can't put share inside this by definition because it'd be creating a new source or reference by the time you try to every time you pass something in, it'd be a different reference that gets subscribed to. So it wouldn't actually be shared. So you do have to do share before. And because it's being split, I did share and then passed in multiple times. I did in my HTTP utilities, I did have it so it returned when it split them up. Each one has a share at the end. Or no, the original one has a share, and then so that the three that are split off, they all share the same HTTP observable underneath. So, okay. I don't remember what I originally was going into that for, but yeah, this is fine. Let me pause and just collect my thoughts because this was longer than I thought it'd be. Well, I don't think there's anything else to say. I think this is good. So I may come up with something else afterwards, but if I do, I'm not going to make another video. You can just look at the Stack Blitz link in the description. And yeah, also look for my article. If you're interested, Google the article Progressive Reactivity with a bunch of different state management libraries. Just Google some of their names, I guess. But I might remember to put it in the description of this video too, but if not, oh well. Anyway, yeah, I'm done. See ya.